Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Gift and you're welcome to Gift Fancy Couture. So in today's tutorial we are going to be making tutorial on this beautiful Caribbean skirt. This is the one I made for a client. Actually made in different colors, same colors, but I interchange it. So let's get started. So the first thing we are going to do is to draw a flare skirt. Let's just say we are going to draw a flare skirt, and based on how the style is, we are going to divide this skirt into 5 layers. So this is the waistline. That's the waistline. We are going to mark 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it depends on how you want it. If you want it to be like 4 layers, you are going to divide the length of your skirt. Let's say your skirt is 42, you are going to divide 42 divided by 4. So for this one, we are going to divide 42 divided by 5. So whatever it gives us, we are going to minus the waistband. The waistband is 2 inches, so we are going to minus it and then continue with that. So let's just say the waistband is 2 inches, so we are going to, and our skirt length is 42. All right, so we are going to go ahead and divide 40 divided by 5. So that's what I did here. All right, and that's the band. After I've already removed it, let's just say that is the 2 inches band, and also it's going to have a rope in front. All right, so now that we've already calculated the measurement and I've divided the 42 inches, remember we are removing 2 inches, so the actual length is 40. And based on how the style is, all right, I'm going to make the first layer to be longer than the rest. So for the first layer, I'm going to use 11 inches. So 11 inches minus 40, you are going to have 29. So 29 divided by 4. That's what I did here, and that's what I'm going to share on the 4 layers, other layers. All right, so now that we've already calculated this measurement out, we are going to redraw another skirt length to arrange these layers on it. So one thing about this Caribbean skirt is that you can decide to make the first layer and the last layer to be equal and the middle layers to be the same, or you can switch it to, let's say the middle layer would be the same length with the last layer. So it depends on how you want it. So for me, I made the first layer to be longer than the rest. So this is what I did here. So I'm going to go ahead and redraw another skirt pattern so we can arrange this layer. All right, so this is the new skirt length that we are going to draw. Remember, that's the first is the band, the next is the skirt length, second, third, and fourth, and the last layer. So I've gone ahead to mark it, and then I've gone ahead to label it. Go ahead and do the same thing as well. So next thing is to do the calculation on how to achieve our skirt length. All right, so what I'm doing here is just rewriting the skirt length, like each of the layer, the length I'm going to be cutting from it. All right, so this is what I mean. Let's say your skirt length is 42 and you are removing 2 inches for the band. So the remaining 40, let's just assume you want it to be 4 layers. You're going to divide it 40 by 4, so that will give you 10. So you might decide that, oh, I don't want the length to be the same thing. All right, you can make one to be 12, the other will be 8 inches. The other might be 11, while the other one will be 9 inches. So it depends on how you want it. So this is what you are going to do. Now, how to get the measurement of each layer is that you are going to use your hip measurement times 1.5. Okay, so whatever you have, that's what you are going to use for the layers. Now the second layer is the sum of what you have from the first layer times 1.5. okay, so you are using that 1.5 to manage your fabric. For if you want it to be too full, like very full, you can use times 2 of your measurement. So but for this tutorial, because this person is using for ready to wear, actually use 1.5 to make, not to, as in to avoid too much fabric. Okay, so each of it is times 1.5. The first layer is times 1.5. That's your hip times 1.5. Then the total of what you have for the first layer times 1.5. That's what you are going to use for the second layer. The third layer, that's what you are going to do the same thing. So that means the measurement you have for the second layer, the total measurement you have for the second layer, you're going to use it to do times 1.5. So that's what you are going to get to cut the third layer. Then the third layer is going to be, the fourth layer is going to be the total measurement of what you have for the third layer times 1.5. Alright, so this thing actually consumes fabric. You have to use, let's just say each of these adire crepe is 4 yards. So out of these 4 yards each, I made 4 skirts from it. So it remained pieces, but the pieces were not much. So this thing consumes fabric. So if you are going to sew it, you are just going to make sure that you have like 3.5 to 4 yards of fabric. All right, so this is me after I've gone ahead to cut it, and I also iron it just for it to neat and straight, because I didn't want something that each side will be longer than the other. So I took my time to iron it. So here I've gone ahead to cut it out. This is it. So I want the joining to be by the side. So each of the layer, let's say color blue, I cut 2, one for front and one for back. So each of the fabric I cut 2, one for front and one for back. I hope you understand, because there is no zipper. But if you want to have zipper, you can either put your zipper at the side or at the back. You know how to do it. So the next thing is to go ahead and sew the adire, the fabric. You're going to set your machine on gathers and then sew it just like the way you are seeing on the screen. So when you are done sewing, you are going to go ahead and draw the gathers and also do the same thing on the second layer. So here, while I was sewing this, the machine was already gathering it. Just for this, it only happened with this blue fabric. All right, so the next thing is to go ahead and do the same thing. So when you are done, you are going to draw the gathers, gather it to your hip measurement. All right, and then sew the sides just like what you are seeing on the screen. You're going to go ahead and sew the side. Make sure you arrange your gathers properly. Everything should be equal. All right, so when you are done, you're going to pick up the second layer. All right, whatever color you are using, or we are going to use the same fabric. So this gathers, the total of gathers you are going to do is the total of that length of that first layer. All right, so just like what you have gone ahead to draw gathers, and it's the sum of that first layer. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and sew this yellow on it. So the third one is going to be the total of the second layer. All right, so when you are done sewing, like drawing the gathers, you are going to go ahead and sew the sides of this and sew the side of the other one, then attach the second layer to the upper part. All right, so I'll just show you what I did here. You can see the way I sew. I don't rush when I'm sewing. As I'm sewing, I'm ironing, and as I'm sewing, I'm weaving. All right, that's what I usually do. So now that I've gone ahead to draw the gathers, you're going to place it just like what you are seeing on the screen, and then sew it round. Okay, it takes time though, because drawing the gathers is work. For each layer, it's work, especially those last layers. So if you're sewing for yourself, just know that it's going to take time, and if you're sewing for clients, just know that you are going to charge. You have to charge because it takes time to draw gathers and then sew it. Not even one gathers, 5 gathers. All right, so just like what you are seeing on the screen, this was what I did. Now I've gone ahead to draw the gathers for the third layer. So the third layer gathers after I've drawn is the total of this yellow. You can see how it is. You are going to go ahead and sew it. So this is what you are going to do till you get to the end of your skirt. I believe you find this video helpful. Please don't forget to like, share, drop a lovely comment in the comment section. Share this video with your friends. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification. Okay, thank you so much. Let's continue. So I've gone ahead to sew all the layers because the video was already getting longer, so I needed to make it short. All right, so this is the elastic that I'm going to use. The elastic is 2 inches. So that means I'm cutting the band to be more than 2 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead. This is what I cut. For you, you can cut 2.7 or 2.5, but 2.7 is more secure than cutting 2.5. So this is the band. The length of the band I cut is the total of the hip measurement there. And next thing is to go ahead and add like 1 inch for the joining because it has rope. All right, so this is the rope. This is how I'm going to mark the rope. First thing, you notch the center after you've gone ahead to fold the band into two and iron it properly. And then from the notching of the center, you're going to mark 1 inch down. Okay, that 1 inch is where you are going to create a hole, all right, to pass the rope. So we are just going to go ahead and notch it and then sew it. What I was trying to do here is to explain that that's what you're going to do, but make sure you notch it so that you won't forget. All right, like I said, make sure you notch the line so that you won't forget. Please make sure you notch it. So I've gone ahead to also sew the rope. I used like 1 inch wide, I think 1 inch wide or 1.2, and then sew it. I made the rope to be longer than the waist measurement, like the hip measurement. So I folded it like everything. If you measure the width of that rope is like half an inch, that means I've sewn it tightly. So now I'm going to go ahead and join the band. Please just follow what I'm doing. You are going to hold the band together just like what you're seeing and notch and sew the center of the band down to where you notch for the opening, and then skip it and sew the next point just for you to create that hole. All right, so here I've gone ahead to do that. Next thing is to go ahead, you can see this is the hole, this is what I mean, and then you are going to go ahead and fold it just like what you are seeing on the screen. You're going to fold it, and then when you are done folding, please remember the hole is only in the front where the rope is going to pass. Okay, so now that you are done, you're going to go ahead and put the elastic. I can't tell you the measurement of the elastic because it depends, but for this elastic it was not really stretchy. So since the waist I was using is 44, I think the length of what I use for this is 35, or either 35 or 33. So it depends on the stretchiness of the elastic. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out and then join it. So when you are joining the elastic, make sure you stop stitch it. Please, you know that the moment you pass the elastic, it's gone. So make sure you top stitch the elastic properly. So here I've gone ahead to sew the elastic. You can see the way I was stretching it. And next thing is to go ahead and pass the elastic inside the band, just like, please watch what I'm doing. Just go ahead and pass the elastic inside and then go ahead and sew it. Please, when you are sewing it, you have to be very patient, because when you are pulling that elastic, sometimes it drags with the clothes. Okay, so the first thing you are going to do is to go ahead and sew the joining, the side where you are going to attach to the waist. Okay, so when you are done sewing that, next thing is to sew the hole. So when you are done sewing the waistline, next thing is to go ahead and create a passage where the rope is going to pass, and which is where you are going to start from is where you did the opening. Where we did the opening, you are going to stretch your band when you are sewing it. You can see the way I stretch it. Just go ahead and stretch it. You are going to create two holes there. Let's assume your rope is half an inch. You are going to sew like 0.7 or 0.8 so that it will be easier for the rope to pass, and that's what I was doing. So please, when you are sewing, make sure you stretch the band. Please, emphasis on stretch the band so that the band, so that it won't be gathering the fabric. Okay, so next thing is to go ahead and sew another hole just like what you are seeing on the screen. So the next thing is to go ahead and sew another line on the upper part. This is optional. You can decide to stop at the middle, but I prefer sewing just to create that sewing there. create that line there. So we are done. So next thing is to go ahead and pass the rope. Another thing is, while you are passing the rope, you have to be careful. Like I told you, like I said earlier, I saw like four of the skirts. All right. So this first one, I used the safety pin. I used a small safety pin to pass the rope. The second one, the safety pin broke inside the skirt. So it was that. Why I'm telling you this, you can decide to use a stick like a broom to pass the rope, because the last two that I used broom and it was faster. The second and the third one that I was doing, I used safety pin and the two safety pins broke inside the skirt. That was when it dawned on me that let me go and look for broom. So you can decide, the option is yours. I'm just telling you my own experience. Yours might not be the same. Okay, so now that we are done, we are going to go ahead and attach the band. You can see I've passed the rope. Next thing is to attach the elastic to the waist. And when you've gotten to this point, remember the gathering of the waist. The gathers that we are using is the sum of our hip measurement. Okay, so basically this is what we are going to do. Before you go, please don't forget to like, share, drop a lovely comment in the comment section for me, please. Don't forget to turn on your notification so you can always be the first person to get notified whenever I post a new video. All right, so this is what I did. So after doing that, I went ahead to sew the hemming and then iron it properly. That's exactly what I did. It took time for me to iron because I like ironing. After I was done ironing, I put it on the mannequin and that was it. So if you've watched this video to this point, thank you so much. Please, when you're passing the and when you want to join, just pick one side to like pick one side to fix the elastic, to fix the band. Okay, this is what I was explaining here. The rope side should be outside. Okay, so now that we are done, this is the outcome. You can see how beautiful it looks and how well the skirt is being arranged. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, drop a little comment in the comment section. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.